What's happening in Las Vegas? Las Vegas is the Spanish for the meadows, the name given to the area in 1829 by Rafael Rivera, probably the first European to discover this desert oasis. He was a scout for the Spanish explorer Antonio Armijo's trading party that was traveling to Los Angeles and stopped for water on the old Spanish Trail from New Mexico. In the 19th century, areas of the valley contained artesian wells that supported extensive green areas or meadows. Las Vegas, county seat of Clark County, lies in a basin on the floor of the Mojave Desert, surrounded by rocky mountain ranges with arid desert vegetation and wildlife. In 1907, the developers installed the first flowing groundwater well. Within the oasis lies a delicate balance between sunlight, water, and nutrients, crafting a distinctive microclimate that nurtures plant life. The current metro area population of Las Vegas is 2,953,000, to whom affectionately the valley is the ninth Hawaii island. Paradoxically, it's also known by outsiders as Sin City. Incredibly, autocorrection, the spell-checking function of my iPad, repeatedly substituted Sun City for Sin City. And it's this electronic malfunction that has provided the impetus to explore this extraordinary twin perception of Las Vegas, the Sin or the Sun City. I recall my single visit there exclusively to attend a gun show, to select a suitable weapon for myself, ostensibly as protection against narcotic smugglers, who may have misunderstood the nature of my assignment. I was struck by its plentiful color and how uniquely strange it seemed, like a kind of neon city, cold and isolating, as if primarily designed for rich corporations by which ordinary people were seduced to part unnecessarily with hard-earned earnings that would fill the insatiable coffers of greedy gun manufacturers, mindless gun salesmen, hypocritical executives of the National Rifle Association and their foreign associates, and last but not least, corrupted lobbyists. There are probably more intriguing reasons why Las Vegas is called the Sin City, but in my experience, it is a prime venue for a weapons emporium, offering innumerable choices from which to select a firearm that matched in size, grip, and weight what was most desirable for me as a new gun owner. I observed as special legal counsel to the Jamaica National Export Corporation the workings of the drug trade, and it was my duty to monitor, draft, or approve the textual language of all official correspondence connected with the U.S. international war on drugs, called the narcotics trade, that compromised exports of legitimate cargo. We carefully purged inferences upon which exporters, legitimate or not, could base a retaliatory libel action against Jamaican officials. The United Nations estimates that the global drug trade is worth more than $300 billion yearly, the biggest black market on the planet. The Commission of Police, though I had no investigative or law enforcement role, recommended measures of self-protection, such as the purchase of a licensed firearm. My hand pistol of choice was a Beretta 92F M9 9mm pistol with a standard 15-round magazine. James Bond used a Beretta 418 pistol with skeleton grip. Illegal guns are a product that criminals sell, but they are also tools to control other rackets, such as drugs. The uninitiated, like I was, would be overwhelmed by the plethora of gun shows in Las Vegas that reveal the intensely profitable, semi-secret worlds of the global gun trade. As one gazes in stupefaction at the glimmering array on display, truly, all that glisters is neither good nor gold. How often have you heard that told? From the Prince of Morocco in Shakespeare's Merchant of Venice. On Thursday and Friday of this week, what will take place at the Motor Speedway in Las Vegas is a popular Crossroads Las Vegas gun show. The Hot Show, held annually, is also a multifaceted, overwhelming, ballistic, gargantuan, flamboyant, and slightly surreal look at the U.S. firearms industry. There are the spillover products, anything imaginable that has a connection to guns. There are reflections of gun politics. One gun is engraved with the slogan, quote, "In Trump we trust." And of course, there are the Kalashnikovs and AR-15s. The annual SHOT Show is the largest show of its kind in the United States. Only trade professionals, such as buyers for retail stores or law enforcement agencies, into which category I must have fallen, are allowed entry. This is the market for dealers who sell to civilians, with models posing with pistols. In the 1990s, Glock took a professional stripper to Vegas to promote its firepower. As the sun rises in the morning is natural, so has Sun City, as opposed to Sin City, for the past couple of weeks been preparing to welcome tourists to view the solar eclipse. A total eclipse will cross North America, passing through Mexico, Canada, and a large portion of the United States. While some parts of the US will go dark, in southern Nevada, the lights will be on, for it will be only a partial solar eclipse in Vegas, with 51% of the sun being blocked by the moon. It is forecast that the next total solar eclipse will not be visible in Las Vegas before the year 2200. The published schedule for viewing the eclipse in Las Vegas is as follows. Beginning today at 8th April 2024 at 10:12 a.m., the moment the edge of the moon touches the edge of the sun is called the first contact. The maximum eclipse, which is the deepest point of the eclipse with the sun at its most hidden, happens at 11:20 a.m., continuing until the partial eclipse ends at 12:30 and 53 seconds. The total duration of the partial eclipse is 2 hours and 18 minutes. The Circus of the Sun. Also happening this week in Las Vegas is the performance of Cirque du Soleil, where the Sun City's best performers star in 6 unique, amazing shows. There was a fantastic show on Saturday night, and details of the other presentations in the series will shortly be released to the public. Set in an iconic soundtrack, The Beatles of Love by Cirque du Soleil is a multi-sensory journey. The 3-time Grammy-winning soundscape sets the backdrop for thrilling aerial acrobatics, daring trampoline and roller skate acts, and much more. Enthralled audiences discover the psychedelic, captivating, immersive, and technological wonder that has excited and delighted more than 10 million guests. It's one of the most celebrated shows performed at the Mirage. Las Vegas has been influenced in its historic past by French culture, and examples exist everywhere within this functioning citadel, with elaborate architecture where several of its attractions mirror the luxurious style of French nobility during the reign and at the behest of Louis XIV, the Sun King of France. The goons of that area, who before the sins of excess caught up with them at the guillotine, would revolve around the Hall of Mirrors of Versailles and of their king, as moons revolve around the sun. He famously said, "L'État, c'est moi. I myself am this nation." The Fontainebleau Las Vegas is the newest luxury hotel in the heart of Las Vegas Strip, featuring a casino, world-class dining, spa, nightlife, and much more. The Chateau de Fontainebleau, with its magnificent forest, belonged to the kings of France and served as family home for 34 kings and 2 emperors. The Moulin Rouge, famous for having become non-segregated, was named after the Paris nightclub. Lena Horne, Harry Belafonte, Marlene Dietrich, Frank Sinatra all performed there. Whether it will ever return to its former glory remains to be seen. But for now, its future is hanging in the balance. La Maison de Maggie closes on Sundays, and as it says, our food was made by Maggie herself. And it boasts excellent croissants and French baguettes. One of the secrets of a great baguette is to start with a sponge, a mix of flour, water, and yeast, which gives the yeast time to mature and combine with the other ingredients, creating the mildly sour and nutty flavors and chewy texture. I could delight in a delicate, enjoyable crepe Suzette, topped with vanilla ice cream. I could spend weekdays, say April 8th and Tuesday 9th, at Pool à Paris, sunning on the deck in the shadow of magnificent structures, including the Tour Eiffel de Paris. From below, I would be looking up at the towering deck with its 360-degree views, and from this Parisian icon. C'est magnifique. Whereas I've empathized with the idea that what happens in Las Vegas may have a French connection, a fun connection, a gun connection, a sun connection, and perhaps even a sin or crime connection, I am at a loss as to why Vegans would have imported a virtual connection from Egypt along with its own mummy. But believe it or not, the discovery of the lost tomb of King Tutankhamun and his mummified remains 102 years ago by Howard Carter is still widely celebrated at the Luxor Hotel and Casino. There, as advertised, one can come face to face with the nested coffins and notorious death mask, and unearth the sights, sounds, and wonders of ancient Egypt. But the fact is that I am not enamored with the idea of unearthing corpses, whether or not from Egypt or any other place, even if they are very well embalmed. I am willing to say that if it should be known that what I see turns out to be real rather than virtual, I should be forced, when confronted with something that's real and not virtual. To abandon the bon voyages, the au revoirs, the adieus, and the à bientôts associated with civilized visitors. And I would personally flee with maximum speed from the city, in the exercise of my preference to leave behind whatever strange things may have happened in Las Vegas.